Hi, I'm Melissa Gordon,
And I'm Hope Nelson Pepe.
and we are currently in the educational doctoral program for workforce education at the University of Georgia. And more specifically, our program is actually located on the UGA Griffin campus. I'm really pleased to be in this program, and it's really convenient for me since I work here on the UGA Griffin campus as the Assistant Director for Academic Affairs. I wanted to share a little bit of information on this program with you today because it's a fantastic program, and I think it's a good fit for quite a variety of professionals. And because we have a big deadline coming up, the next cohort for this program, the deadline is actually March the 15th. And because the program only accepts new students once every other year, if this is something that you're interested in, we wanted to make sure we got the word out to you quickly. And so I'm really happy to be joined by one of my cohort members, Hope. And Hope, I'm going to turn it over to you for a bit so you can give us a little bit of information about you and why you're in the program.
Okay, so I was a teacher for 30 years and I retired. And then I did some online teaching, which I still teach online. And I looked at going back to school and I looked at a bunch of different programs. And I was actually accepted into a number of programs. I looked at Vanderbilt's program for organizational leadership, and I looked at a variety within UGA. I even looked at Harvard Online, but I already have a master's in specialist. So when I looked at this program, the cost, the time, and the complete flexibility of what you can do career-wise with it really sold me on it, because I knew that I couldn't go back into the classroom at the same level. I did not want to do that anymore. I enjoy it, and I still teach that age group online, but it was just time for a change for me. And so I have a son with autism. I actually knew what my dissertation, which is very unusual. I knew what my dissertation was going to be before I picked the program, which is autism workforce. And so that is kind of how I ended up here. I thought it was more cost effective. It's a very highly ranked program, and it fit what I wanted to study as far as making change in the world, because my second career is more about change in the world in a different way than I did as a teacher.
Very cool. And our program is actually ranked number 2 in the United States.
I did know that. That's one of the reasons why I selected it. So
cool
I knew that, but everyone else might not realize how, when I say highly ranked, I mean highly ranked. So I didn't actually compare workforce to workforce. I found workforce in looking through something else. But I did look at other highly ranked programs like organizational leadership. The problem with some of those that I found was it wasn't going to give you the exact skills. Then the pandemic hit. And now with our workforce having so many resignations, during the Great Resignation, I think this program is a better fit in general. Like if you want to be a coach, I was given a grant by the university to study adult autism coaching. So I found that through a link through the Center for Autism at Vanderbilt, this private coaching certification that you can gain. And so they paid for 50% of that. So I've been able to coach a number of autistic adults during this program. And it's just a career shift for me. So I was a shifter. There are other people in this program that are HR personnel for universities. There's an academic affairs person, which is Melissa. And there are some teachers that are district level. One of them is running a district level program for CTAE. And then some of them are like business education teachers. So they're in CTAE. One of them is construction, and they want to have higher level positions within those types of jobs. But you don't have to be. I was not CTAE. I taught gifted. I taught middle school, and I was an English teacher. So you don't have to be from that background to do the shift.
Absolutely. And I talked with, actually, even today, I've talked with a couple of people about the program, because what I found, I was surprised how many CTAE teachers were in our cohort, but we're in our second year, and just sort of seeing the relative, how connected the curriculum is for them is, I realized I would love to see more CTAE teachers and directors and school level administrators in the program. but it's also an excellent fit for those who are not CTAE, like yourself, who
Right.
are just interested in the promotion of the future workforce, whether they're government agency personnel who work in WIOA, individuals who are working for the technical college systems, or individuals who are
Right.
working in universities. We have two I know who work for Emory in our cohort. I'm at UGA, and I'm a little different than Hope. As you see, Hope is very passionate about the autism in the workforce, and it's awesome to see all the different interests of the individuals just within our tiny little cohort of what we want to do. And my background is actually I worked in the technical college system for a long time, and that never got out of my system. And so I'm interested in the technical college system, very much in rural areas, as another member of our cohort also is too. But I'm kind of gearing in the direction of looking at how individuals can transfer from the technical college more seamlessly and more successfully into the university system. But there, as you can see, there's autism interest and how those individuals can be more successful in the workplace, and how the workplace can be more amenable for them. The transferability within systems for students is what I'm interested in. We have a cohort member who's interested in Black women in STEM careers, not going into the careers, but who are already in those careers. Interest in,
So interesting,
go ahead.
interesting that you brought that up. So I decided about, I don't know, in the second year, this year, I decided over the summer, I looked for diversity and inclusion because I thought it's not just, if I go back in and I want to work in HR, or if I want to work in coaching, or if I want to work at a university as a coach, or if I want to go to work or start a nonprofit, which several of my friends who are retiring from the financial industry, they want to help write grants. And we've got this idea kind of about a nonprofit, but maybe that doesn't work out. But when I looked at it, I thought I need more information on diversity and inclusion altogether. And I didn't want to get a separate degree. So I am 1 credit away from finishing my certificate in diversity and inclusion through University of Georgia also. And so what that'll allow me to do, as because I'm always looking like, what jobs would that include? So with the two together, there were over 40 different positions, like just in diversity and inclusion. But I wanted to know more about other subgroups, what that looks like in the workforce, what are the problems that employers are having in not necessarily recruiting, but in keeping these employees, in the retention aspect of it. And this is the same issue with ASD employees. So you can do a certificate in something else, if you're really passionate about another area. I just felt like that the autism coaching, talking about adults, because my past research had always been about children. So I wanted to know more about adults. But I also thought that the diversity and inclusion certificate was a good fit for workforce, especially since I'm not really sure which direction I'm going to go. I have a friend, she's like, if you move out west, we can go work on reservations. We could start a nonprofit for Indian reservation workforce. There's just so much you could do with this. I talked to someone at the Department of Economic Development about jobs, and they were like, we have some jobs that might be coming open at our office that would be a great fit. I'm always calling and checking. So there's a lot of different jobs that you could utilize this for.
I agree. And I think it's one of those, it's the more I'm in the class, the more I'm learning about the different avenues and the way workforce education sort of works and radiates out everywhere. We even took a class on, I remember one of our very first classes was on international workforce. And I think we were all kind of like, oh, wow, didn't even think about that. But the connection in studying how workforce development in other nations was a very much an eye-opening and something that's continued to sort of sink in my brain. And as we're looking at things even domestically, how things work internationally. So this is a program that I think a lot of people can really benefit from various facets. And honestly, I think in our cohort, it's so rich because we have people coming from so many different places. And so I hope that our future cohorts are the same, that we have, a little bit of CTA teachers, some people from higher ed, some people from government. I think it would just be an awesome, it makes it for a richer experience. And so I hope that anybody who's interested will do a little more work, a little more research to find out about this program. The deadline is coming up on March 15th to apply. You can learn more about the program by visiting our website, and you can go to griffin.uga.edu, or you can contact me at melissa.gordon@uga.edu, or give us a call at the campus at 770-412-4400, and I'll be sure to include all that information in the comments later too. So thank you very much, Hope. I'm grateful to have you as part of my cohort. So we're 2 years in.
No problem. I'm glad to do it.
Thank you, Hope.